So this is going to be a new series that I'm doing where I'm going to recommend my favorite general science books for the general public. And it should come to no surprise that most of these will probably be related to physics. And if you're like me and you enjoy reading nonfiction, maybe the history of science or biographies about famous scientists, then I think that you should be a big fan of all these books. And to start, we're going to be talking about Too Big for a Single Mind by Tobias Hürter. I'm sure I'm probably not pronouncing that correctly, but the reason that I enjoyed this book so much is because it combines everything that I love about these books. It is at the same time a biography about not one but multiple famous physicists during what was probably the most pivotal time in the history of physics during the 20th century, in the post-relativistic era, and then the birth of quantum mechanics. Arguably one of the centuries that changed the world more than any, and one that definitely changed the world of science as we know it. Without the discoveries of quantum mechanics that turned the world of physics completely upside down on its head, we wouldn't have any of the modern technologies that we know and love today. And we definitely wouldn't have these phones that I'm recording this video on now and that you're probably watching this on now. So as the title may suggest, this book covers the lives and professional stories of multiple different physicists, most of which are big names that you probably recognize: Einstein, Bohr, Curie, Schrödinger, Heisenberg, Pauli, and that's just to name a few. It goes beyond just the physicists that are pictured on the cover. But not only does it talk about their professional physics contributions, but it also talks about the complexities of the time that they lived in and how those influences influenced their work and their lives. And it also highlights their connections to each other and how these different physicists from wildly different backgrounds, countries, ideologies came together in collaboration to accomplish this impossible feat of probing the microscopic world that we didn't even know existed prior to this. And the author does a wonderful job of painting the picture of just how turbulent this academic time was, in the fact that many of the physicists that would have been considered the big names at this time, including Einstein, Schrödinger, Bohr, they completely disagreed on all of these topics. Einstein pretty much went to his grave denying the validity of quantum mechanics and claiming that there must be a better way to explain nature than this. While Bohr completely hung his hat on this idea that quantum mechanics was the final theory of the world and it must be what explains the universe. And so we have these great minds of history clashing, coming together, arguing, collaborating, and all of that interconnection leading to the final product that is our current understanding of quantum mechanics. And the book also does not shy away from discussing the complexities of the theory, and so you get a good understandable window into the science, into the issues and the questions that they were trying to answer, and also the objections that the opponents of quantum mechanics had at the time, while also not getting too bogged down by the details of the mathematics, such as to make it inaccessible to a general audience. And then, of course, you also get the little peek into the drama of their lives, because even though we may see them as academic titans who only focused on their work, most of these physicists also had pretty interesting personal lives as well. And then, of course, you have the looming influence of World War II and the rise of fascism in Europe that leads to a lot of roadblocks and almost serves to inhibit the scientific progress that was happening, and will ultimately lead to a massive migration of intellectualism away from fascist Europe and into other countries, including the US, who before this time, wouldn't have necessarily been known for their prominence in the world of physics. So if you're interested in physics and quantum mechanics specifically, and you want an interesting, exciting read that almost feels slightly captivating, as the author does a good job of painting it as a exciting narrative, then I would definitely recommend this book because, as I said, it does a good job of painting not only the personal lives of the scientists, but also the scientific questions that they were grappling with without getting too bogged down in the mathematical weeds. And if you like this and you enjoy the book, or you want to hear other book recommendations, then please stay tuned. I'm going to be going through my small but useful collection over there as I continue to read more of these books and find some good ones, and I'll be sure to recommend them to you.